Sure. Um, we do that through a number of different ways. Mostly it's modeling. We try to practice what we preach. And so we do ask our faculty members to think about ways that they can bring their lives into their work and teaching at Embry-Riddle. And so we think about different ways that we can bring in our research, bring in articles, bring in work that others are doing. And so we ask our instructors to do the same. We also ask our instructors to be relationship focused. And so we, again, do the same. We are asking our instructors to reach out to students, create connections. And so we do that with our faculty. So we are writing letters, calling, sending handwritten cards when we know something's going on, because we're all part of the same team. And then we also try to have a little bit of fun. And you reminded me of that when you walked in today. And so our CTLE definitely tries to have fun, and we remind our instructors to do the same.
Yeah, I agree. Our CTLE does have a lot of fun. I like coming over here, interacting with every one of them because they're all a blast and they're all lovely to work with. Yeah. So you mentioned that you have some of these resources for faculty, right? What are your most popular resources or events that are for faculty?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, my answer to this is relatively new. We have a new offering called the Online Teaching Certificate, and it was born out of faculty requests. We get a lot of feedback from faculty that they wanted some advanced offerings, some things that they've been teaching online, teaching successfully for a long time. And so they wanted something that helped them to move the needle, to get better. And so now we have this advanced offering that takes about 50 hours for faculty members to complete. And it ends up with a badge. And we've had about 40 people go through it so far, and we've got a new iteration starting soon, and we've got a waiting list. There are people knocking down the door trying to do this super hard, really long, challenging experience. And so that's really what makes up Embry-Riddle faculty, that kind of drive.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to go off script here a little bit. I think that might be going live in a new software, April
28th.
April 28th. So if you're interested, join the waiting list. And so what is one way that faculty can partner with you or your department to enhance their teaching?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. We offer teaching consultations. And so it doesn't have to be if there's a problem. It can just be you want to talk about a particular situation. You want to talk about something that you want to do better. You want to talk about a new software. You want to talk about ways that you can bring in AI to your class. You want to talk about any number of these situations that we're facing in our courses. Schedule a teaching consultation. There's a link on our resource site, and I believe there's a link in every single one of our emails. We might not be the best people to answer the question, but we're so lucky to have a whole team of people here in the Division of Academic Innovation. If we're not the right folks, we can get you to the right folks.
That is excellent. So, and I agree. I mean, you guys have helped us many times, and anytime we have a question, we reach out to you, and you and your team are more than happy to reach back out with providing that information, and we're all very excited.
Great, I do say so myself.
Well, Angie, thank you for your time,
Tony.
And we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next contestant. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure to shut your light off.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So now we're going to go down and talk to Dr. Felix Brito, who is the Associate Dean of Learning Design and Technology. He does not have a fake mustache like I do. He has a wonderful mustache, and he's an insanely nice gentleman, and he has left a great impression on me since the day I started working here almost 3 years ago. All right, looks like we're approaching Felix now. Awesome. Here we go.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Felix. How are you today? I am well. You go ahead and sit down. Thank you. You too. I was just telling the folks there, I don't have as great of a mustache as you do. Yours is real. Oh, okay. So before we get into this, Felix, you are, like I was introducing as Associate Dean of Learning Design and Technology. right? Can you kind of talk about what learning design and technology does just briefly before we dive into some of our questions?
Absolutely. The learning design technology really is the amalgamation, if you will, the compilation of 4 major units within the Division of Academic Innovation: instructional design, instructional technology, media, academic innovation media, and the learning support and development team. So those 4 units work very closely together on the design of our online courses.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for explaining that. And those 4 teams are essential to keeping those online courses running. Yes. And that leads me perfectly into my first question for you. So because your department comprises of these 4 different teams and you support over 800 courses at any given time, how do you ensure that accessibility and quality standards are integrated into every course while maintaining alignment together?
Well, quality has always been sort of one of the cornerstones of our online course development process. So in over the past 7 years, I'd say, we've been following pretty rigorously the Quality Matters rubric for course design. So that has been a game changer for us because we since then we have something to fall back on, really, that guides us through the development of online courses in a way that we infuse quality in it. And the rubric itself has many standards, and one of them talks about accessibility, which is one of the major focus areas for us today. One of the things I'm very grateful for is the accessibility team that has been assembled, has been with us for, it's a cross-functional team that has played a really instrumental role in making sure that that we're educated on accessibility, on UDL, and how we can make sure that our courses follow those accessibility standards that are part of a larger set of standards in a way that it's accessible to our students, but it also reaches a higher level of quality.
Thank you for sharing that. And you mentioned UDL, and I'm going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Stephanie Lancaster, who just did a wonderful presentation on it. If you didn't check it out, please go view the recording in Zoom events. It should be available for you. So I just want to let everyone know about that one.
Good.
How does your department stay current with new technologies to continuously improve the online course experience?
Mm-hmm. So pretty recently, the instruction technology team, my amazing 3 instruction technologists, Selena, Jorge, and Megan, they established really something that we've been meaning to do for the longest time, which is not only to receive reviews, like 2 review requests, but also be on the lookout for what's out there as far as learning technology that can be adopted in our online courses to enhance the learner experience. And so far, we have a wish list of tools that we want to educate ourselves more and make sure that we conduct a thorough review so we can provide instructional designers and course developers with some guidance, really, on what's out there as far as learning technologies are concerned. So this is fairly new. We are still sort of establishing the process per se. They've been, Selena, Jorge, and Megan have been really focused on benchmarking. They've done some extensive research on what other institutions are doing as far as learning technology adoption is concerned. But aside from all that, and that's a great process to have within our online course development production, really is we rely a lot on course developers. They provide us with a wealth of information as far as what's out there, what can we use.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that.
Sure.
And we can actually get into this last question pretty quickly because you kind of alluded to it a little bit. Can you provide just quickly some effective strategies for faculty wishing to integrate these tools that you're talking about? Again, I know you alluded to it, but can you just talk about it a little bit, how they can integrate it into their Canvas courses?
We have a process called consultation, course development consultation, that any course developer, any faculty really, can reach out to the instructional technology team and have a conversation about any ideas that they might have about adoption of learning technologies in online courses. I would encourage everyone to do it as early as possible, as soon as they know that they're going to develop a course. As soon as they know what course they're developing, any ideas they might have, to book that consultation with either Selena, Jorge, or Megan, depending on the college they work for, and have that conversation. And then that conversation can be continued on once the course gets under development.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Felix. That are my questions for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for your time. Wonderful mustache again.
Thank you too.
All right, we're gonna go on down to Dr. Kamille Leptz. I hope I'm saying that right, Kamille Leptz. She is the Senior Director of Instructional Design and Development. So it's actually great timing that we just talked to Felix. So let's dive into her office. Hello,
there.
how are you today?
Say, how are you?
I am out of order is what I am.
Oh, you are.
I am out of order. So
How's your stash going?
it's not sticking well. There they are. Completely out of order, but I'm good to go. How are you today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Looks like a chinchilla.
It feels like one's crawling in my nose. Before we dive in,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the
sure.
same thing I've done with everyone else. What does IDD do? Very briefly, what is the team? What is your team?
We design and develop courses. We are basically, what I think of us as a conduit for our educators. So our instructors, they're subject matter experts, but we have our expertise in knowing how to put courses together and increasing student engagement.
Awesome. Well, thank you for explaining that.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in. So how do you support faculty in turning content into engaging learning experiences?
It's consulting, we guide, we look at the technology that we have at hand and look what the best use of it is. Also provide that guidance into how a class should flow, and looking at student outcomes.
Awesome. That sounds like so you do consultations very similarly to how Felix is talking about consultations with the instructional technologists.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. And so to kind of get into a little bit more specifics here, maybe, what is a hidden gem in your service offerings?
All right. Well, I wouldn't say it's so much of a hidden gem. It's our instructional designers. I mean, flexibility,
Mhm.
adaptability. I recently spoke with a few course developers from the January through March terms. And time again, they were talking about the relationship that they were able to develop with our instructional designers. So that definitely is a gem. And I love the fact that we have great faculty as well as great staff here at Embry-Riddle. And we understand the most important thing is providing the best possible courses for our students. So
Yeah, I have to agree with you. The students are first. And I'll tell you what, I agree with you that the instructional designers are a gem, not so much hidden. I work with them every day, and the energy they bring, trying to include new features, check out new stuff, and propose ideas. I mean, wow, talk about an in it to win it team, right?
that mustache is really
It's
active.
kind of coming off though.
Sorry.
And so my last question, it might be it could be loaded, it could be maybe don't know so much just yet, but since we are moving towards that one university catalog,
Yes.
do you have any idea what could we expect to happen to our courses?
Well, things to expect. We're always going to be consistent. We're going to be cutting edge. We're working on a plan right now, the directors and I, for professional development to help bring our IDD skill set, especially with all the AI technologies out there. That's the name that we've been hearing about AI for the longest now. So it's important for our instructional designers to have that freedom to try new things. So you'll be seeing us, delving into new technologies, consulting more frequently with the course developer. We're going to continue to partner to make courses that are awesome, that are world renowned, and provide a great outcome for our students when they graduate. They go out into their career and they know that they've had a great foundation from Embry-Riddle.
Now, besides the work going into doing all that, because I know it's a load,
Sure.
are you guys excited about this?
Absolutely, 100%, because it's an opportunity to grow. Anytime, as an educator, and a lot of our instructional designers are former classroom teachers, so education's really in our blood. And, I always say the best teachers are the greatest learners. So when we're willing to learn new things and we get excited about trying new things, how is it not going to be contagious for our students?
Agreed. Yeah, I'm with you. As a student myself, I'm really excited to see what is to come because I'm ready for some greatness,
I
right?
am too. That mustache is ready for greatness.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll grow one for real.
All right.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
It has been. Yes. Oh, and have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
So now we're going to move on to Carey Hansard. who is the Associate Dean of Strategy and Operations. And if you haven't worked with her, she is also a gem.
Tony, are
Hello.
you ready for your annual eval?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whoopsies.
Maybe not right now.
Another time.
Yes. You don't have anything in your nose, do you?
What? Some
Any
hair,
Issue? Yeah.
possibly.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi,
How are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am also fantastic, having a ton of fun here today.
So is everyone attending.
Oh, I hope so.
It's a popular session.
I don't know the numbers, but I appreciate everyone's coming out. It
Give
means
him
a lot.
thumbs up and a heart if you like what he's got
Thank
going
you.
on here.
So, before we dive in, what is strategy and operations all about?
Hello. Strategy and operations is about supporting the people that are supporting teaching and learning. And so we've had a lot of fun. One of our initiatives from this year, you were actively involved in, and our photographer, Mr. Marcus Eldridge, was also actively involved in that Canvas Impact. We've been sending some messages out to faculty and students, and I think it's been really successful so far. So we've been having a lot of fun, but mainly we are supporting the teams that are supporting teaching and learning.
All right. Well, that does sound like a lot of fun. And yes, Impact has been a very helpful tool, which I'm really glad that we got it.
Yeah, me too.
So I was out of order with Kamille. So let me go ahead and fix my cards.
I need a gavel. You're
Yeah,
out of order,
That
sir.
would be great, right?
Yes.
So, loaded question here.
Uh-oh.
Your department does a lot of work behind the scenes. Can you share one of your team's initiatives or projects that faculty might not realize directly supports them?
I am probably going to point back to Impact right now, but because that's the one that's first and foremost in my head. But we were also actively involved in the implementation of Reich for our entire department anyway. Instructional design was using it very extensively before that, but I think that has been a helpful tool. We formalized a lot of the processes. And in addition to that, been involved in the adjunct faculty scheduling initiative. So now adjunct faculty have a way to say, hey, I'm available this term, I'm not available this term, and hopefully that's helped them. So we were actively involved in that initiative too.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you're involved in quite a lot of things.
Yes.
Right? It's like I said, a lot of work behind the scenes. So you mentioned what you're doing right now with all these initiatives.
Yes.
And you said that you're supporting the people that are supporting the teaching and learning, right? So how does your department expand its role beyond the division to better engage and support other ERAU personnel across all three campuses?
Yeah, so one of the other initiatives that I'm involved in right now is, I think, exactly what you're talking about here. So I started working with the registrar's office, the financial aid team, the IT development team, RCTLE. We started working with a lot of teams
Mm-hmm.
to tackle, and the academic side of the house, to tackle the issue of F and FX.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem. There are a lot of teams involved in making sure that faculty members are giving an FX when it's appropriate, and yet they're still not doing it well. So I brought the teams together to talk about what can we do better to help support everyone and ease the load. So that's one thing that we're doing right now that's brought a lot of different teams together. And I also want to talk about her. I know that Angie had a sticker on her desk.
She sure did.
She did. Angie and I, co-founders of her, and we're trying to bring people together in that initiative as well.
When is the next HER event?
The next HER event is August 7th,
And do you
2
know
p.m.
who the speaker is?
We will have many speakers
Oh.
where the topic is wellness. And so we're talking about wellness from many different perspectives. So
Well,
stay tuned.
yeah. And if you're interested in going, it is
August 7th, it's
No.
a Thursday at 2 p.m.
location.
Oh, it's on campus. it's either the Willie Miller or the Henderson. You caught me off guard.
Sorry about
Talking
that.
off script, man.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
you got to do what you got to do.
You do, right?
Last question here before we're out of time.
Okay.
Your initiatives rely on close coordination with various partners across the university, and you've talked about this a couple times already. What strategies do you use to drive that cross-functional collaboration and ensure alignment on key initiatives?
You know, I think my best advice there to someone who's wondering how you do that is to build a network and keep up with that network. Listen. So just listening, you can learn a lot. And when you listen and you hear the problem, sometimes you're removed enough where you can suggest a solution. So continuing those conversations, building your networks, and I think that's probably going to be my best, the top two.
The top two.
The top two.
All right,
yes.
the top two. You heard it here, folks. There's the top two.
Yes.
Well, that concludes my session with you today. I hope you have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of your day, and thank you for
You
your
too.
time.
I'll see you mustacheless soon.
Yep.
You should take a look at Jeff Ferner for another mustache. on the way
Yes.
to John
Well,
Sexton.
we're actually on our way to go talk to Jeff Ferner, so great segue into that.
Excellent. Thank you.
So speaking of Jeff Ferner, he has been here 26 or 27 years, and I mean, he's done so much. Right now he is the Director of Learning Support and Development. I want to slowly back into his office as we go ahead and sit down. Here is the man himself, Jeff Ferner. How are you today?
Oh, this is exciting. Hello, what's your name, sir?
Tony Sciarrillo.
Hello, Tony.
I hope you know who I
I'm
am.
Jeff, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm also glad
Well,
to be
you're kind
here.
of incognito today, but can y'all see me okay? Okay.
Yes.
What's
All
going
right.
on?
So briefly describe Learning Support and Development. What do they do?
Well, the D is the new word of the day, development, and we actually identify and resolve problems. Going back a few years, and I mean like 8, 9, 10 years, something like that, we had these problems come up and we didn't know how to fix it, right? And so we created software solutions and how to do that. And one of the tools we had would basically step through and find and replace things that were broken. Well, that was good, but we needed more. We needed a way to identify where these problems existed, to search and to find things, but then also to replace it. And so then we stepped forward into the next level, which was finding and replacing more globally throughout all of Canvas. And so I believe it was last week, week before last, we found and replaced 27,000 different strings of text that needed to
Wow.
be changed. You could call us a big deal. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I think they're a big deal.
And so from the development side, it being new, it kind of accentuates our new responsibilities, our new requirements, if you will, of the position, because it evolved over time and changed. So it's not just supporting Canvas, it's also supporting the identification and resolution of these issues.
Awesome. Well, you pretty much hit the nail on the head of my first question there of what that, I guess, as you said, the D, the development part of your team name. So thank you for sharing. I mean, 27,000 pages, that's a lot of pages.
It's a whole bunch of pages.
Yeah. So I guess we'll talk about the first half of your name then. What kind of support do you provide student and instructors? What kind of issues
Can't get over that.
does your
Yeah,
team solve?
Absolutely. So, at the beginning of the term or before the term, that's our core responsibility, is making sure everything's set up correctly. I'm a firm advocate of cut twice, measure once. No, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Measure twice, cut once, or sharpen the blade for 2 hours, so you only cut the tree for 1 or something along those lines. In other words, the more time we spent before the term making sure things work and are set up correctly, the less time and less problems our faculty and students are going to experience. So that's kind of a mantra, the philosophy I like to carry forward, is just trying to make sure we have everything correct. So we provide a full gamut: browser support, sometimes OS. Goodness, the other day we had a hardware issue. One student out of 26,000 just couldn't do something, and we think it was his home-built computer, but I won't swear to it. I'm pretty sure. So all of the above, from Canvas to all of the instructional academic technologies. If faculty and students get to a point where they're just dead in the water, they're just stopped or having problems, we're one of the layers of technical support that they can turn to. On the left menu of Canvas, they can click help and they can call somebody 24/7.
Mhm.
But and that's great to have. But let's say Canvas just can't, it's an integration, it's a textbook, something like that. The students need an advocate, or the faculty do. That's who they turn to.
So if they wanted to turn to you, what's the best route of contacting you?
Well, I like contacting IT, to put in a ticket, include things like the course, the page, and so forth. So IT supported eroute.edu, I think that's a fantastic first start. They have a great knowledge base, and the technicians there try to troubleshoot and solve it a little bit. But yeah, that's a good way to go.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you heard it. IT support at erau.edu is the first route. And if it trickles down to Jeff's team, they'll help you out. And that goes into my last question. Now, based on these common support requests that you receive, can you share some best practices for technology that faculty can use?
Buy a newer computer and use it. And I mean it. Windows 10 is end of life in October of this year, October 14th to be exact. So Windows 10 is no longer going to receive security updates, patches, and so forth. I kind of kid around, but about 20% of our faculty and students are using Windows 10. So that's the nudge. So that's a great idea. And clear your cookies and cache once a month, and or when you have a problem. And lastly, get 2 monitors when you're grading. It really helps with your time, and test out that Speed Grader screen recorder. It's a great tool.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, because tomorrow I'm going to be partnering with Jorge and Sharon talking about things or features in Canvas, and I will talk about those screen recording feedbacks. So thank you for letting me know.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for your time. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And nice beard.
Bye, everybody.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and kind of shift gears here a little bit. We're going to go to our Academic Innovation Research Executive Director. His name is Dr. John Boekenoogen, and he is located not far from us as well. And I'm going to see if he is ready. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I am great. Good
Well,
to see you.
I am loving this energy.
This is great.
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm hoping you're also going to have some fun here today.
I think I will, after seeing the last person talk.
Yeah. So academic innovation research.
Yes.
I mean, that is a broad name, right? I mean, you do a lot of research, but I want you to tell me, what does your department do?
What we do is we take a look at the future. We want to know what type of trends or technology that is out there that could help our faculty, to help our students learn better. We like to say that it's, taking a look at the future. What does digital teaching and learning look like?
Mm-hmm.
How can we get there through collaboration, through research, through adoption of technology? So that kind of sums it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that summarization. Now, with this research comes data, right? So I want to ask you, how do you turn that data that you get from, research surveys and all the initiatives you work on into actionable insights?
Well, I have to say that Juan Carlos, who sits on my team, is the brains behind the data and how it is used. When we brought him on board, Dr. Goon and I had a vision of what we would be able to do with some of the data, but he has been able to take that vision and turn it into reality. He's been able to take faculty data, student data, put it into an easy, digestible format, so much that the chancellor enjoyed it, passed it around to the college deans, and has now made its way to all the campuses and to the provosts, and just being able to put raw data in a easy, digestible format so they can make good decisions, both regarding what's the students doing, how are the faculty doing, what our different programs are doing. So yeah, I think we're having a strong impact on how the future of education is here at Embry-Riddle, and it starts with the basic, simple data.
Yeah, I agree with you. You shouted out Juan Carlos, and I'll give him an extra shout out. That guy is a superhero, it seems. He does a little bit of everything.
Yes.
And man, he does some really good work.
Absolutely.
So my next question for you. Your department collaborates with faculty and staff on many initiatives, such as user experience or the teaching advisory groups. What is the best way for our instructional partners to get involved in research or pilots in your department?
Being part of our faculty fellow program, we're in our second cohorts right now, which is going great. That's always an opportunity to look forward or look to. Anytime anyone wants to throw an idea at us or have a conversation about a tool, technology, research, something they see on the news, air@erau.com is, or not .com, sorry,
Yeah.
.edu, is the best way to get a hold of us. But, you know, you barely mentioned, or you started to mention, you know, user experience and stuff. Because of the initial work that Juan Carlos has done, it has opened up doors for Cody, who works in the UX side. She's been able to work with student success, and we're starting to build a whole new world and relationship with them. Rob, who also works for us, he's our futurist. I mean, he is the symbol of what we do in AIR regarding what does the future look like. You know, he's looking at some of our micro survey data, again, a data element of that. But he also turns around and he's doing a lot of research on what is out there, social, political, economic, and so forth. So if faculty are interested, or students are interested, or our staff is interested, reach out, air@erau.edu.
Alrighty. Yeah, if you guys ever seen that little pop-up in the bottom right-hand corner that says, you know, answer these 3 questions, that's the micro survey John was talking about that Rob does. He programs those from scratch. He spends hours of reading through that. So, you know, that's for our student surveys where we collect that data and try to improve our courses.
Absolutely.
And our last question here, what's one innovation your team is exploring that could impact digital learning at Embry-Riddle?
I would have to say how artificial intelligence can help develop simulations, to help develop scenarios. How can we make our students feel that they're being engaged in real world activities? We've put together some great scenarios and simulations about airports or airlines. You know, we're looking at, we did a demo for a class dealing with space. I mean, so we want to figure out how can we make our students excited? How can we engage our students beyond the read a paper, you know, read an assignment, write a paper, and all of that. So.
Well, you seem excited about it. I'm excited about it. Hopefully your faculty and staff are excited about
You
it.
bet.
But I really appreciate your time
Thank you.
and everything. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All righty.
Enjoy.
You too. All right, we're going to go on to last but not least, John Sexton. He is the Director of Multimedia Services. He is right down here when we walk through media team, right? And here we are. John, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull this chair a little bit closer. How are you today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am.
Catching up on Stephanie's presentation on UDL. It's great
Oh.
how easy it is to find the recordings on this interface.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I was just talking about that. You know, go check that recording out because it was really good. Well, we're here to talk about multimedia services or the media team, however you want to go by.
Yep.
Tell us briefly, what does the media team do?
Well, we partner with our instructional designers and our course developers during course developments and redevelopments to enrich some of the ways that we present content to the students in the form of multimedia assets. We also like to enhance some of the activities in the course, just so that there's maybe a little less reading for the students to do and a little bit more watching or engaging.
Okay. Yeah, that actually leads me perfectly right into my first question. So how do you help faculty create and use those media assets you just mentioned to enhance that course engagement?
Well, I don't really do much of it. I just receive those requests and give them to my talented team members. We have video producers, we have developers, we have digital media specialists that all bring some really incredible talent to the course development process. And they apply those talents to the course productions, partnering directly with our course developers to create video content, create interactive presentations, maybe some knowledge check activities, simulations, the whole thing.
Yeah, those simulations are super cool. I believe you have a gentleman who works on those directly here, and you have a collaborative kind of based around them. So yeah, I mean, it's really exciting and it's really cool tools that they're creating here. With these course visuals that you guys are creating, what are some simple ways to improve them?
Well, one of the areas that we try to be a little bit proactive on is providing resources to both the course developers and the instructional the instructional designers. We want to provide templates. We want to provide all the Embry-Riddle brand resources out there. And them having access to that allows them to quickly maybe create things on their own. So they're not necessarily having to enter our queue and work on our timeline. The subject matter experts, they're the ones who know what needs to be said in a lot of the courses. So we leave it to them sometimes. We try to just add a little bit of extra polish afterwards.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's going to be really helpful, because faculty, of course, they want to be developers and create content. And those are some really important things to keep in mind. And so for my last question here, what services does your team offer that more faculty should be taking advantage of?
That's a great question. Actually, the first thing that comes to mind is we talked about the simulations earlier. We would really love the opportunity to partner not just with a course developer working on one course, but maybe a group of faculty from one of our programs where we could partner with them and work with them to create some kind of virtual environment simulation where students can explore complete tasks all inside of a virtual environment. That's something that we've been really looking for an opportunity to. We've created some really cool virtual tools recently using game engines, but we'd love to do something where the students can kind of get into an environment from a first-person perspective and complete tasks.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with me.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your time as well. This was a lot of fun and very informative. And I think that's going to conclude our session with you today. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you for your time again.
Thank you.
All right, let me slide this over. All right, folks, that pretty much concludes my session as a man on the DAI Street. I really appreciate you all coming out and taking time to take this tour with me. Again, thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day and take care.